they've been together for almost 50 years. Of course, musical success all over the world. We remember them Top the Pops back in the day too.
Back in the day, that's right. They're on the road again, and they are bringing their tour to venues throughout Ireland. Foster and Ireland are here. Before we chat to the lads, here is a beautiful version of Grace.
Oh, Grace, just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. They'll take me out at dawn, and I will die. With all my love, I place this wedding ring on your finger. There won't be time to share our love, or we must say goodbye.
Now we're thrilled to have the lads, Mick and Tony, with us. Great to have you with us. A very special event there. Tell us about that performance of Grace.
Well, sure, look at Tony and tell you.
All right, then, go on.
We did a whole album of songs in the distillery in Kilbeggan.
Yeah.
Lovely.
It was a great bit of crack.
Yeah. Mick, there's a family connection with that song, though, isn't there?
Well, maybe not so much the song, but the time.
Yes.
Because my father's first cousin was the first child to be shot in the 1916 rising.
And there, like, he's only 2.
And his baby brother was in the pram as well. Now, I knew the baby brother as an old man, but his mother was heading to a choir practice as the rising broke out in Dublin. And taking North King Street. And the rising just started, and he just happened to get a bullet, and he was the first child. He wasn't the youngest child, but I think he was the first. He definitely was the first child to be shot in the 1920s.
And the plaque then was unveiled recently, which is lovely as well.
Yeah, Tony and myself we were invited up to that, and we did a couple of songs and a couple of tunes. At the
We actually sang Grace on the
day.
Yes,
that's why that Grace was so special on that day there,
I'd imagine it was very emotional, Tony, wasn't it?
It was indeed, yeah. You know, it was well, when you think back, like, you know, that closer relation of Mick to be shot in a pram.
Caught in the crossfire, really, wasn't it?
We never had that story before the Maura. We've covered a lot of those stories down through the years, so we didn't have that one.
And his father was away in the war, because his father and his 2 uncles, the 3 of them worked in Guinnesses. And to work in Guinnesses, you had to join the reserve army. And he was sent to the front, and you know, when this happened, he still wasn't allowed home for the funeral. So,
so sad.
Mother had to do it all on her own, well, with her family, obviously.
What an apt song, though, because it's so, you know, emotive of everything. Isn't it?
Covered a bit too recently. It's great to see it coming back like that, because it's such a great song.
Oh, brilliant song.
Yeah, and it's been recorded by loads of lads other than us. I think Rod Stewart, the team, recorded it.
I think everybody recorded it. We met the 2 guys that wrote it, the Maura brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were originally from Mullingar.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they used there with us. Keep learning.
The last time I was hanging out with you 2 in Mullingar, we were at the fair. You almost killed me, both of you.
That was brilliant, wasn't it?
That was great fun.
Oh, it was brilliant. Brilliant.
No,
it was. But the 2 lads, they were from St. Bridget's Terrace in Mullingar.
Okay.
And they've written loads of songs.
And how did they come up? I mean, what is the story behind it? The original story when they wrote it, or do you know?
You better ask Tony.
I loved it. Tony, are you the man? I will deflect, Tony.
Any awkward questions,
I noticed that, Mick,
He got the Christmas jumper, I have to do the talk.
Yeah.
You see, if you were the Christmas jumper, you wouldn't have to talk.
Exactly,
But it is interesting when you see kind of the stories behind these songs, really, isn't it?
Songs are great. But people know the story behind Grace, though, Tony, but Joseph Plunkett.
Joseph Mary Plunkett and Grace Clifford,
just before he was shot.
He got married.
That was his
story,
his partner,
And the two lads, there are all some great songs about. They wrote a song called Meet Me at the Pillar, that was their song as well.
Okay.
And
great songs.
Roisin, another song that they wrote,
Now, we said at the top there, you're 50 years in the business, and we were saying, we were even talking going back.
No, Mick can't remember that.
But it's a long time, and you often say that you're kind of, you know, you don't live in each other's pockets, which you never have rows either.
We never had an argument.
In all the years.
We started playing together in 1967, and we played on and off, and then would constantly since 1975. Were playing together, touring together. We never had an argument, never mind a row.
Did you know each other beforehand, or how did the two of you actually turn around and say, okay, listen, we'll go for it?
Yeah, well, I joined a band back in the 60s, a local band, the Marylanders, which was the parish next to where I was born and reared. And Mick was playing in that band. And we played on and off together in different bands. And he was trying to persuade me to leave a band and go as a two-piece.
Yeah.
He had seen the Alexander Brothers, you see.
Yeah.
The Scottish guys with the piano.
Took me 7 years to convince.
I was into the band game more than that. But in 75 we were in England on tour with the band, and a chap was opening a pub, and he asked the two of us to stay back. We played every night for a week in the pub. That was it then.
That was it in Foster.
Isn't that really interesting? So
I came home with money for the first time.
There's only two of you to share. So that's the 70s, and then when you had the big success of Chorus a bunch of time,
Yeah.
that was that 82 or was
It
it?
was 79 in Ireland.
In Ireland, and then 82 on the top of the pops.
and- Yeah.
That's brilliant.
And Maggie was in the charts in 83 then.
Who put you in the gear?
Yeah. Just a fine fella, whoever that
There was
was.
a man called Jimmy McGee was behind that. He was involved in Release Records and our first single.
The memory man.
Jimmy
Your own
McGee.
Jimmy McGee, yeah.
Oh, Jimmy McGee.
It's responsible for the
Yeah, and Mick O'Riordan, they both were involved in Release Records. And we had done an album for release, and Jimmy said, there's a movie out, he says, called Barry Lyndon. He says, you should look at the gear and wear it for the sleeve of the album,
Yeah.
which we did. And then we were going to American tour. We decided we'd get them made in green and white. That was it.
And what was Top of the Pops like?
Oh, brilliant.
Sure, it was great for Tony because I'd never seen it on it until I was on it. He used to look at it on a regular basis.
I loved it. Yeah, I'd be rushing home every Thursday night to see, from school to see Top of the Pops.
I was dragging my feet going home, hoping it would be over by the time I got home.
Yeah,
So you weren't overawed at all.
Oh, Lord,
This is amazing, so totally different. So you
Yeah.
were like, oh, whatever, and you were like, this is the best day of my life.
Yeah.
I wasn't. Probably near enough still is.
It wasn't Kelly music, trad music, I'm not interested. I'm tunnel vision with music where he is a wide setup and, you know, I'm pulling to the left and he's pulling to the right, but we meet on the white line.
Yeah.
And that's probably why
That's why you stayed together for so long.
that's
haven't you?
probably why everything
Probably,
worked out. There's never competition between us because I can't do what Tony does and he can't do what I do. So it's like having two separate acts on the stage.
That's actually a very good way of putting it, because most people, there is rivalry, and bands kind of break up and partnerships break up because of rivalry.
We said from day one, every pound we get, 10 shillings is yours, 10 shillings is mine.
And that's it.
That's the way it's been ever since.
Come here, you caught up with Shane Ward and a few famous people like that as well.
We did, yeah, a few years back. We were. Shane was actually. But Louis Welsh was always telling us that whenever he got into the car with Shane, he was playing the Furies and Foster and Allen, you know. And I got chatting on Monday in London, and we said, I'd like to do a song. Would you do a song with us?
Yeah.
He says, yeah, I'd love it. And we had the Galway Girl. We were going to record that, but I knew we wanted to do something different with it. So Shane was the man. Yeah, he came over and recorded. Always great.
He was on us before.
Yes, he's
Really
a nice guy, a lovely guy. Now you're on
lovely.
tour. Tell us a few dates left, do
Well,
you?
we start the 27th in Mullingar. The 28th we're in Carrick-on-Shannon. The 29th we're in June, and the 30th in Rossgrey. And then we don't do any New Year's Eve, New Year's night. We don't start again till the 5th, and I can't remember where we are.
We link it on our thing, actually, on our Facebook.
Tony, you're supposed to back him up there.
Yeah, we have to
I
understand.
couldn't even remember the ones he mentioned.
Thanks so
Yes,
much.
thanks very much.
Absolutely
Great
great
to
to
have
have
you.
you. And happy
That's
Christmas
all
to you.
right.
And you
Thank
can
you very
catch
much.
the lads on tour. We put it onto our social media there, and you can catch them along the way. Thanks.
Good fun. Now, as we know, Christmas is fast approaching, and we want you at home to send